Hey James, happy birthday. We'll keep the longerness of this video in check because I think most of us can agree the quicker, the sooner. Have a great day. Half century, man, that's amazing. We're right here on your heels, and I think there's a couple more people here that wanted to say, give you a nice greeting.
James Bell, happy birthday, my friend. I can't believe it's been a half century of Jammin' James, and let's hope we got another half century to go, maybe more. The world needs more people like James Bell.
James, I hope you have a great 50th birthday. So sorry I can't be there in person, but wishing you all the best from across the country. Have a great day.
Hey, James, this is Andy. Just wanted to say happy birthday, happy 50th birthday, happy half century. I hope you have an absolutely amazing day.
So, James, as long as I've known you, you've had a distinctive vocabulary and way of speaking that we affectionately dubbed Bellisms and created the James Bell Dictionary, of course. There are too many to remember. They all stand out. They're all wonderful. The other guys may have mentioned some of these or will mention them. Weber Wobber, Flipper Knob, the Shower Blower, Splitting the People, that NBA great from Eastern Washington, Craig Echo, and so on. But I wanted to do something a little different with mine, and it's more tied to a story, but I suggest maybe it's a way of thinking about what the name of the James Bell Dictionary should be, or at least a subtitle for it in the future. I remember your mom, Alfreda, standing up at a game after you got a technical and shouting at the referee, "My son doesn't talk like that." And so I suggest that would be the new name of the James Bell Dictionary. My son doesn't talk like that.
The day that I found out James Bell, a true man's man, loved soap operas. And we were at his house watching that soap opera. And in the soap opera, there was a nose dropper. And so a nose dropper, clearly it's someone who's nosy, who is participating in the act of eavesdropping. A nose dropper.
So my favorite Bellism is the one that you said when we were playing basketball. You said we take him for advantage. And the reason I like that one is because whenever I think about you, I always think that we take you for advantage because we know you're going to come with a big smile and a great attitude, and it's always going to be fun to have you around.
As for my favorite Bellism, I mean, that's just impossible. You can't just name one. You really need to talk about the whole dictionary. But speaking of dictionaries, and I think this made it into the Bellisms, I'll never forget coming out of, maybe it was a PSAT, and we were talking about the test, and we talked about the fact that raspberry was spelled wrong, and you were like, what? They spelled raspberry wrong? That's not true. Anyhow, for some reason, I'll just never forget that one. But of course, quicker the sooner. So many great ones that will always stick in my mind.
So I think my favorite memories were almost more, and there's hundreds, literally hundreds of memories that we could talk about, but there's two that stick out for me. The first is in Hawaii when we were all pitching in for dinner, and James's job was to make hamburger patties. We had two packages, and he split them both in half. I think it took all of 4 seconds, and he said, "You want patties? There's your patties." And there's no moral there or anything. It was just funny. That's all. It will stick with me my whole life. And the other, for some reason, is just you water skiing behind my boat. I think you could just go, you hadn't been experienced. You were going way faster than you probably ever should have, shooting across the wake like crazy. And just, you can step into any situation and make it fun and make it better. And it just sticks in my mind. So that was a fun memory.
I had a hard time coming up with my favorite memory because there are just so many great times. Obviously, the trip to Europe was a blast. All those dances and formals over the years, including you clearing everybody's plates at dinner as they went round and round like a conveyor belt. And then, of course, watching the little guy run by you in the cross country race and saying, how are you going to let that little guy beat you? And now that I'm running myself, I wish I had more appreciation for how hard it is back in the days. But most importantly, just all the great times we had as a group, hanging out, playing hoops up at the high school outdoor courts, and just having a great time. They were just such fun times.
So obviously I don't see you nearly as often as I used to, and that's my loss, my regret. But that doesn't mean that I lack for great memories of our friendship and great appreciation for who you are as a person. There's so much stuff there. I mean, whether it was doing the zero period class with Mr. Bacigalupi and hustling to get to school on time in the morning across I-90 and Bellevue Way. One of the first memories I have of you is us playing hoops down at the park at the base of the hill, your house in Newport Hills. And at that point, I could actually hang with you. You and I could play a decent game of one-on-one. That didn't last very long, though. You kept getting better, and I didn't really improve. Which, of course, reminds me of the time that you played in a tournament down in Vancouver and invited me to join in with you. And we scored 52 points together. Yes, you scored 50, I scored 2. What else here? I remember going to Rush functions together with you. As you were you were staying in Seattle and going to BCC, and I was going to UW, and I wouldn't have gotten invited to nearly as many houses or gotten bids if not for you. So I thank you for going through with all that with me. Remember just you impressing everybody with your country boy strength playing baseball. My team, the Outlaws. Whether skying a rocket from midfield 300 feet in the air, or launching a bomb over the telephone wires, a good 50 feet off the ground and still rising as it clears the outfield area.
So favorite memory, James, is a European trip. Was riding our bikes all over the place. I remember you convincing me to ride up to the castles or the abbeys so that we could then ride down, because I wanted to go down. Like that more than going up, but you figured out a way. I remember swimming in the oceans, the ocean in Italy. I remember camping out in Munich in the park. I remember bribing the conductor and trying to deal with our bike boxes in Milan. It was such an amazing trip. It was so fun, and it still stands out as one of the best vacations that I have ever taken. So first of all, thank you, and hopefully it was a wonderful trip for you. And I believe the winner of the cheapest chicken in all of Europe was Prague, if I remember correctly.
One of my other great memories was sleeping in that cabin at some horrible lake somewhere fishing. And I don't think we caught any fish, to be honest, the whole time. And someone came up with the idea of coming up with every Brady Bunch episode we could name. And literally you went on for hours and hours and hours. And now that we actually have the internet, I could probably check you. And my guess is you probably got 95% of those episodes. But for some reason, I'll never forget that, I think in a good way.
So James, we're going to wrap this up, not by singing happy birthday, but by telling you how much you mean to us. But we're not going to get too sappy, because as a group that awarded a lot of pinky points for putting each other down, I don't think that would be appropriate. But certainly for me, it's amazing having you as a friend and really family, and so lucky to have you over all the years and to be close, and families growing up together and all that. So just appreciate you and appreciate the positive influence, support. You're just a great person, a great friend.
One of the things that I think about when I think about you is how positive you were and how friendly and kind you were to absolutely everybody. I talk to my kids about it and say, not only do I wish that you guys could be that way when you're out with your friends and at your schools and hanging out with other kids, but I think about it and I say, I wish I could be more like James Bell. So for me, You've always been an incredibly positive influence in my life, and I just want to say thank you for that.
Most of all, I just would say that, I really appreciate being part of your family. I'm an only child of only children, and I've got an only child daughter. And so I never really had a big family around, and your family was that to me. Even when, my family moved back to Oregon and you were at BCC and I was at UW, and I'd come over on Sunday nights and have dinner with you all and get a haircut from Ma Bell. I've long thought of you as just kind of the best combination of your mom and your dad and all their loving kindness and so much more than that too, because you're your own person. You're always the guy who is willing to be the goofy kid brother / big brother, but also the peacemaker and someone whose wisdom was always much deeper than he let on. So I want to thank you.
Of course, I'll always appreciate most just how much you were always there for everyone, always with a smile on your face, always positive, always optimistic. We had some great times. They're obviously with our fun coaches, tough times in our days, but you were always there supporting everyone, always with a smile on your face. And there's not too many people you meet in life who you can honestly say have no enemies, and I think you're one of those people. So I'm blessed to be your friend and wishing you all the best on your 50th.
Take care, my friend. Happy birthday. Love you.
I hope you have an absolutely amazing day.
Happy birthday.